Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Hello everybody and welcome to Universal Transport Studio and welcome to an emergency video which I am saying and I'm recording now. It is Thursday the 6th of July 2023 at approximately 18:04 and today's topic is something that has been announced yesterday unfortunately, and it is that ticket offices in the UK are being closed. Now, the thing I want to get across, I just want to say why is this even happening, to be honest, and the reason I think that this is happening is because the Conservative government are trying to save costs, as in they're trying to not pay the people that run the ticket office and everything, you know. They don't want to pay because they just don't want to, and they're just, they're not the right people to run the country, end of. So anyway, I'm going to be explaining a few points about why I'm not in support of this movement, and yeah, so the first thing is the fact that there will be a loss of jobs. Obviously that's the first thing, and people do work so hard to get the ticket offices running and just coming in and doing their job, sending out tickets, helping people with their travels, and it just is an absolute stupid idea that this is happening. So hundreds of thousands of people will lose their jobs if this goes, or if this doesn't, end. And using ticket machines can be really annoying to some people, for example the elderly, or people that have any sort of disability, or people that are blind, or anything like that, or people that just don't want to use a ticket machine for whatever reason. Now personally I would say that I am 50-50. I can use a ticket machine, but sometimes it's hard. For example, if I want to get a specific Rover ticket or something like that, I would prefer, or a platform ticket, I would prefer to actually go to a member of staff at the ticket office and ask for one, because I don't think, well, the times that I've seen, I've never seen a platform ticket available on a ticket machine, so that's one thing. The next thing is the fact of accessibility. So ticket machines can be really complicated and cumbersome for some people to use, and for people that are blind, for example, it's virtually impossible for them to use a ticket machine because they won't be able to see what they're looking at. So and some people may prefer to listen to someone when they're buying their ticket. For example, if you go up to a ticket office and say, I would like a ticket to London or something, or I don't know, Glasgow, it would be, it's easier to communicate with people. Some people might find talking to someone is better. So for example, I'll put this into context. If someone wants to, I don't know, get a brand new TV, for example, from John Lewis or anywhere, basically a retail store, they would prefer that then from having a look on Amazon and seeing the dimensions and everything, because I'm one of those people that prefer to actually go and see the product first rather than order it online where you can just see a brief sort of thing. So I'm one of those people that prefer to actually see the product in person first before making the order. So that's what I'm trying to get across here, that people would prefer to talk about the tickets and see what they can get before they actually purchase it. And the other thing that I want to come across is, for example, if ticket machines are out of order, or they're broken for any reason, or if they're vandalised in rough areas. So for example, a rough area could be Birmingham, Luton, Manchester, Bradford, etc. If the ticket machines are vandalised and there's no ticket machines there, what are you going to do? What if you can't use your phone for any reason? What's going to happen then? Will you just have to get a taxi to an alternative station or something? What is going to happen? That's what the government needs to think about actually, and some people may not prefer to buy it off their phones because your battery life on your phone may not last very long for any reason, or some people might not even have a smartphone. So ticket offices are really vital, and they just provide emotional support and everything. So, and they're home to a lot of station celebrities. For example, George, the Stourbridge Station cat. If the ticket offices go, then unfortunately George won't be at Stourbridge Junction, really, I don't think. And that'll be really sad, because literally George the Station cat and any other sort of station celebrity, they always try to help and make other people's days better. So it would just be an absolute shame if this actually does, not be stopped. The next thing is customer support. So another main purpose of ticket offices is to provide assistance to passengers who, I'll put this into context. So say if you're going to London for the first time and you don't know how to get there, then you can ask the ticket office saying, oh, how can I get to London Euston, or how can I get to London Waterloo, or what have you. And they can tell you, they can say, go to platform this and get this train to London Waterloo, then go to the underground or something like that. It just makes it so much easier. And it's a lot less drastic at busier stations. For example, Wimbledon might be busy when there's a tennis going on. Clapham Junction will be busy, obviously, because it's a busy station and it has so many lines. It has London Overground, it has South Western Railway, it has Southern, and yeah, it has a lot of lines. So, and a ticket machine cannot provide directions for the network, really. And if they implement that, then that would be nice. But I don't know. I just not really sure. And the profit for the railway will drop as a whole. So it will just hinder the whole railway, to be honest, and it just isn't really needed. And I would think that this just needs to be looked at and just solved, really, in my opinion. And obviously the passengers will start to not go on the trains and the railways, not to mention that the prices are already higher than they were before the pandemic, because the government are not acting on the cost of living crisis, really, in terms of the railway and everything, and the strikes are continuing and everything. So yeah, the government really needs to think about the strikes and everything and solve them, because the government and the Transport Secretary are not sitting around the table and actually negotiating with, the people that need to be negotiated with. Instead, they're just sitting there, just thinking it'll happen in magic. Well, it won't happen in magic, so they just need to get around the table and actually start negotiating with the people in order to actually achieve something good, instead of just sitting there and not doing anything. It just is an absolute disgrace, in my opinion, and, this has to be addressed. And I would like to thank all of those people who have been supporting the strikes and, who have been backing the people and showing solidarity, and even going to the locations of where people are striking, for example, outside stations, etc. And I would like to thank those of you who have been retweeting my retweets and who have been signing petitions and everything, and trying to just spread awareness of the strikes on Twitter, YouTube, and any other social media platform, really, and Discord, etc. And yeah, And another thing I would like to point out is, no matter what has happened in terms of train spotting in the train spotting community and what have you, but I want all of you to come together and actually help in whatever way you can. Whether it's retweeting something, whether it's liking on Twitter something to do with a petition about saving ticket offices and everything, just do your bit. No matter what anyone has done, no one will judge you for retweeting something from another person, saying, oh, why have you retweeted this from this person? They've done this and that. Oh, I thought you don't like this person. This needs to end as well, because we're all the same, we're all human, and we shouldn't really be, and we all make mistakes in life. So, as long as we learn from the mistakes, that's the key thing here. If we learn from the mistakes and we actually truly think and we truly mean our apology, then things will get better. So thank you very much for listening to this ticket office speech by me, and I'm hoping, inshallah, that things will improve and our opinion and our voices will be heard, and everything will hopefully go smoothly. So yeah, remember, hashtag save ticket offices. Thank you for listening, and now I'm going to put some videos and speeches of other people who have wanted to participate in my video. So I'd like to thank everyone, and I will put a few images up of retweets, etc. and everything now as well. So yeah, thank you for listening to me, and I will now hand over to the people who want to speak. So yeah, and if you want to be featured and you're not featured in this, then just DM me on Twitter your voice message or a speech or anything, basically, whether it's a written essay or something, and I will just, upload it as a YouTube short if it's under 1 minute or what have you. So yes, thank you very much for listening, and hashtag save ticket offices. Thank you.
I think the closure of ticket offices is absolutely ridiculous. Okay? They should not be closing at all. Dumb decision.
Hello, I'm Michael C. from the YouTube channel Michael C. I've got quite a lot to say on this matter. I've written a little script. Yeah, this might take a while. Sorry. But this is an issue that's important to me, and I'm sure many others. And quite frankly, well, I'll let my little script speak for itself, okay. I want to start this video by talking about my personal experience with ticket offices. I don't regularly use my local ticket office, but it's almost always busy with a queue of passengers waiting to use it. I mainly use it if I'm making quite complex journeys where I may be visiting several places in one day. This is the sort of thing that would be near impossible to enter into a journey planner. However, the staff were able to help me plan a route and get the best tickets in no time. My station has both a ticket office and staff on the concourse. So, obviously, under these new changes, they're proposing getting rid of the ticket office and having just staff on the concourse. But, for some of the tickets I've tried to buy from the machines, the staff on the concourse actually directed me towards the ticket office after the machine didn't work for what I was trying to buy. I've also had refunds issued from ticket offices which wouldn't be possible from a machine, as well as having bought rail cards after a malfunction with the official National Rail website, meaning I actually couldn't buy a rail card from there, which is just crazy to me. So a perfect example of this is when I tried to buy a ticket to Soham Station the day after it opened back in 2021 because I wanted to film a video there. I originally tried the machines, but as the station was so new, it actually hadn't been programmed into them yet, so I had to buy it from the ticket office. Still, in today's modern world, maybe some refinements need to be made, maybe some need to be closed, trimmed back, hours reduced, whatever. But, like pretty much all of the government's recent decisions, it feels like it's been ideologically driven rather than evidence-based. The priority should be reform of our ridiculously overcomplicated ticketing system before even considering any of the changes proposed on this scale. To add to that, the changes are happening way too quickly, and several major groups haven't been, and likely won't ever be, consulted on them, including disability access groups, and apparently even the Office of Rail and Road wasn't informed of these changes until a few days ago. They are being rushed through to avoid too much public scrutiny, and this is yet more clear evidence that the government is actively working against the best interests of the population it's supposed to be serving. Why are these changes happening? Well, as I alluded to earlier, it is an ideological drive from the Treasury and central government to cut costs, which these changes certainly will do. However, they will also significantly reduce the income of the railways, as people will just stop travelling by train. Over the past few years, we've already seen cuts to services made on the same scale as beaching, and I'm afraid I can see this being used as an excuse to cut train services even further than they have been already. Now, you might be thinking, but they've said none of the help staff are going to actually lose their jobs. They will just be redeployed to the concourses. To which I would say, how long do you realistically expect that to last, especially under this government? I'd give it 2 years max before compulsory redundancies are pushed through. These changes would also be incredibly ableist, as staff walking around are far less reliable for disabled passengers, especially if you're blind. You just want to know where the ticket office and go there. And these people already have a tough time using the railway. We should be making it easier for them, not worse. In any case, the long-term trend is and will continue to be climate change. The fact is that encouraging as many people as possible to ditch cars and planes and switch to rail is the best way of rapidly decarbonising the transportation sector, which is currently the UK's largest source of greenhouse gas emissions. These changes will achieve the exact opposite of that, and mean that people who currently take the train will likely start driving for journeys which are even somewhat complex. Our nation's great railway network is in a state of forced decline from central government, just as the opposite should be happening. So, hashtag save ticket offices and hashtag abolish the Treasury.
My personal opinion on the ticket offices, or the proposed shut of the ticket offices in the UK, I think it's an absolute disgrace, and that Mark J. Harper should resign, first of all, because of this obscene proposal that he's put forward, because it's only going to discourage people from actually using the railway because there's no local knowledge provided to them, or any of that human touch provided. Secondly, the ticket machines are always broken or out of order, so there is no way that they're going to be able to buy tickets, and then once they get on the train they're going to be unjustly fined because they couldn't actually buy a ticket from the station. So we need to do everything that we can. We need to write to our local MPs, sign the petitions, and join in the consultation so that we can bring an end to this disgraceful proposal that has been put forward by the Secretary for Transport.